What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ariel if you didn't know, and today's video is going to be all about lashes. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about how to price your lashes. This is such a controversial topic. Controversial. What the hell am I saying? Controversial topic. Okay, so people don't know exactly how to price their lashes, and I get it. It's hard in the beginning. We all went through it. Pricing your lashes could be one of the most difficult situations and could actually make or break your business. So let's get into it. Okay, so starting out and becoming a lash tech is totally different from becoming a lash tech with maybe like not even like a huge clientele, like a consistent clientele. You're gonna have different pricing, you're gonna have a different protocol, you're gonna have a different everything. So when you're starting out, pricing your lashes is so important, and you definitely need to give it enough thought. When you start, based on your certification, they will give you a range of what they think you should price your lashes at. Some do, some don't. I know where I went, they did, but their pricing was ridiculously insane. I think they told me to like price my lashes like per lash in my client's eyes, and they're like, oh, it should be like $20. Yeah, it was like a super ridiculous number. It was just crazy. But realistically, you have to do research in your area. You have to find out what people are charging from different ranges of skill level. So you have to know what the professionals are charging, what the salons are charging, what the home studios are charging, and you have to know what the beginners are charging. You definitely don't want to be that lash tech that is coming in extremely low, because then you're setting yourself up for failure, to be quite honest, because you are pricing yourself too low and you are getting clients that basically are gonna not be with you much longer because they're not the clients you want. So what I mean by that is the way you price your lashes, you're going to attract a certain clientele. Obviously, you're not going to start off doing lashes charging like $200, because that's just ridiculous, and you're just going to give yourself a bad name because you're charging too much and the value isn't there. What you're going to do, like I said, is you're going to definitely go ahead and look at what people are charging in your area. For example, in my area, when I started doing lashes, I was charging $80. Now this is, I'm just going to talk strictly about classics because that's where you're starting off, and sometimes it gets a little confusing with volumes, but you can kind of take the same idea and then apply it to volumes. So starting with classics, you want to have a reasonable price where people are going to pay you, but they're also not gonna think you're overcharging them in a sense, because you do want to make sure your client is aware that you are new, that you are learning, that you're trying to build your business. Because you never want to charge someone, let's say you charge them $100 and they come in and then their lashes are stuck together and something hurts, and then they're going to complain and they're going to want their entire lump sum back. And that's something that's gonna happen. It's happened, it's inevitable, but you definitely want to make sure you're pricing it reasonably enough so they understand that they may get a set of lashes that could be not the best. You know what I mean? I don't know how to say that without like sounding rude or sounding like you're doing crap work, because you're not, you're learning, and I think that's just what it is. You have to make sure you let your clients know what they're going to get. It's all about setting up expectations. Let's go back to me. So when I started doing lashes, I started charging $80. The reason I started charging $80 is because when I originally started, I knew people were charging $60, $70, and then that's like the newbies, and then the professionals were charging like $150, and that's just like classics. And this was obviously at that time period, because like it changes over time, right? So I told myself that $80 was a good price point to start at. And the reason I said I chose $80 is because I knew that transitioning from $80 to, let's say, $100 or $90 wasn't going to be a massive jump, and my clients weren't going to get upset. So I knew that one day I would want to charge more, because you have to keep in mind that you are going to end up charging more if you continue and you get better and your supplies get better and you have a bigger clientele, but you don't want to scare your clients away by going from $60 to $100, because that's a huge jump and nobody's going to want to pay that, especially when they get comfortable paying that $60. They're just going to take you in a bad light, and it's just not going to look good on you. So you have to think about the future and think about how much you want to increase and how far you want to increase. So let's say I was charging $80 and I said in like a year or year and a half, I would charge $100. So obviously things changed, and I ended up adding volumes and hybrids and all that kind of stuff. And I really tried my best not to shift far away from the $80, but I didn't think about adding in volumes and hybrids at the time. So I did have an issue where I was trying to implement those services without sacrificing my classics and not reducing my classics to less. So you never want to go back. I didn't want to start charging $70 for classics and $80 for hybrids, because now I'm learning to do hybrids as well. So what I did do was I started with the $80, and then I ended up charging, I think I was charging $90 for hybrids and volumes, because I was still learning, right? But when you're pricing, like I said, you want to make sure you're attracting the right client. Now, if you underprice your lashes, so if you, let's say you do the $60, which is also very common because I know a lot of girls that charge $60, but the problem is then you're going to start attracting those clients that basically want great lashes for no money. And that's something in every industry you're going to get, but the problem is those are not everlasting clients, and those are not the clients you want. Those are clients looking for the cheapest person, and those clients are gonna come and they're gonna go, and they're never gonna stick with you, or you're gonna change their prices and they're gonna get upset, or they're gonna pay the $60 and then complain that they're not $100 value, which you don't want as well. So you definitely need to price your lashes in a happy median, you know what I mean? So pricing your lashes has to incorporate a few things. It has to incorporate your supplies, your time, and your skill. So when it comes down to it, at the beginning, I really thought about my I really thought about my timing and my product. So when you start, you don't have that many clients. When I was buying product, it was actually giving a big dent in my wallet, because I would have to buy product in like bigger chunks, because I was only buying like mixed trays, and I was buying glue, but the problem is I wasn't having clients come consistently, so they were drying up. The lashes were finishing and I wasn't keeping account of them, so therefore my price was kind of all over. So you want to make sure that you are taking account of your products, and you're taking account of your time. So now when I start looking at like my let's say I was back at my $80 value for my classics, and I'm thinking in my head like, hey, it takes me 3 hours to do a classic, because that's what it was at the time. So now dividing that $80 between 3 hours and how much I'm making within the 3 hours. So now I'm at like $26 or something, like $26 per hour, which is great, but then now you have to take into account your expenses. So glue is easily $70. Lashes, each tray could be like $15 to $25. Tape, all that kind of stuff. Obviously, you're not using all that much money with one client, but you do have to take into account how much of those products you are using for each client. I didn't do that in the beginning, and it definitely hurt a little bit because my pricing was all over. And then you don't ever want to put a price out there, have people see it, and then all of a sudden change it, because there's no consistency with you, and people need to know that they can trust you and you're reliable, especially when you're new. So you have to have some sort of consistency where people can see your price and be like, okay, that's how much she charges. I'm gonna go to her because I know that's how much it's gonna be. You never wanna add on fees. You never wanna do that afterwards, because that's just totally running your brand down. Okay, I'm sorry, I feel like I'm all over with this video, but there's so many things to know about pricing. So, in conclusion, you need to take consideration your skill, your products, and your time. At the beginning, skill doesn't count that much because you're still learning. But like I said, you need to set expectations for your clients. So that way when they charge so that way when they pay what you charge, they know what they're getting, and they are not asking you for a refund, and they're not asking you to fix their lashes or do something that they didn't expect. Okay, that is it on pricing your lashes. Okay, I hope you guys liked this video. I hope it was helpful. I hope that something here made sense. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll be back with something new. Bye!